Cool. Let us begin.
Oh, here's
Let
mine.
us begin. Oh, what you got? Bring it on. I still got stuff to pull up.
It's actually a good thing that we're melting the earth, because then my business stays busier. I get to smoke a cigar in December, and the world obviously revolves around me.
Wow.
Everyone else,
That's why we come here.
like, the global South. It's whatever. It's fine. It's good to have 60-degree weather in December.
I love it. That is why we're here, folks. There's gotta be one that rivals, all of our earlier content. All right. Let's do this thing. Elf of Greyforge. I must say your perseverance, or perhaps stubbornness, is admirable. I naively thought my flame guard would have been enough to persuade your little group to turn tail. I am grateful for what you did to that pesky dragon, but this further trespassing in my sanctuary is becoming a distraction. You must understand my focus need remain here with your kin, for a horrid sickness seems to be re-emerging for the elves of Greyforge. And it is up to me and my divine grace to keep them safe from this unspeakable disease. So, I must urge you to please lay down sin's law and light and vacate my keep before I truly lose focus here and this sickness gets out of my control. As you continue to explore Sinful Keep, you think back about the chaotic whirlwind that has been your short time here, and how it seems to stand in direct opposition of the very god of light and order this place was thought to represent. The corruption permeating this otherworldly cathedral was evident from the start, but what does it all mean? Where does the corruption stop and sin's influence still hold fast? And how long can whatever's left of that divine grace remain uncorrupted by this incomprehensible force you believe to be Odalric? Since entering the keep, you encountered an aged High Richter Ornal Ceres, who vanished in a violent flash of red light, Ashen warriors, Adjudicator, a radiant draconic being protecting a lantern, another flame guard, an Elder Oblex in an illusory ballroom full of oozes and slimes protecting a blade, and finally a Solar claiming to be the last warden of sin. And now we join the party as you are pushing open the doorway into Anna's old bedchamber. Anna, as you push open the door, and peer around the room, you find the room is bare. A small stone chamber, devoid of all personality. It looks nothing like the room of which you once spent a large portion of your life. For as you look about the room, possibly disappointed by what you have not found here, your gaze lands on the rear corner, where leaned up against the wall is a small object. Upon further investigation, appears to be like a small utility shovel leaning against that back corner of the room. And now, the game is yours. Rotator.
I guess an investigation of this utility shovel.
First roll of the night. as you look over this kind of shovel, it's small. It's something that someone might travel with. It's not like a full-sized shovel. It is in fairly good condition, though it does look like it's been through some use. It has a little bit of like caked on mud and dirt, but it kind of just looks old, like it's been around for a while. It's extremely mundane looking, and there doesn't appear to be anything about it that is like extraordinary.
Anna will pick up the shovel.
Roll a. Just kidding. No. Yeah, you pick up the shovel. You're good.
Does this was my room roughly this size? I wouldn't walk into this room and be like, half of it's missing.
No, it does actually seem smaller. It doesn't seem. It just seems like there would have been like alcoves connected to it. There actually probably would have been more rooms within it. It's just like, it's kind of smaller. It's just kind of like almost like a square stone room. There's nothing interesting or there's nothing really reminiscent about it to the room that you would have once had.
All right, well, Anna will pick up the shovel and put it on her person and just mark utility shovel.
Yeah.
She'll kind of shake her head and just be like, see Isabel in the door and just sort of be like, this place just doesn't make any sense. I'm tired of it. And she'll kind of look, and her plan is just to basically like stick her head in the doors heading, north. And then there's nothing in these doors. Just tell everyone that she doesn't want them. They've looked, and we just need to call it a day.
Love it.
So she can start. And she'll just kind of push it
As
open doors.
you peruse down the hallways, you find much more of the same. These small rooms that are all kind of this very same like layout of just kind of emptiness and stone. They all feel so devoid of any personality. And you've probably been in multiple of these rooms. Like, even though you lived in one, you probably knew people that lived in some of these rooms for a time before you moved out to other places. It's like it's very strange. Obviously, a lot of this place has been different, but yeah, looking at these rooms, they're just like blank stone walls. Squarish rectangular rooms. They're just.
And if Anna just kind of sets the shovel in, let's say, this room here, in the same spot that she found the shovel in her room, does anything happen besides the shovel hit the ground?
The shovel just hits the ground, hits the wall. Nothing seems to happen.
All right. Well, then she'll sort of report back and say, I found the shovel. Don't really know what it means. Don't think I had much use of one when I was last here.
No idea why one would be placed in your room?
No. She'll kind of chuckle to herself and be like, the only reason would be a warning. Keep doing this and you'll end up in the grave or something.
Reasonable assumption.
And she'll kind of look at the group and say, if anybody saw anything where they can connect why a shovel would be in my room, I'm all ears. But if not, she'll kind of shake her head and just be like, I'm out of ideas.
Unless there's some secret room in there, I think we've kind of hit a dead end.
Yeah.
Could try that wand, I guess, is the only other thing.
To me, I think it only could mean one thing.
Oops.
Lazy gardener.
You know, it's a tough economy out there to hire. Just gotta take whatever help you can get.
Well, we haven't seen a garden yet, so one less problem, I guess.
Yeah. All right. Well, Anna's good to head out. Unless somebody else has something they want to do here in the keep. I kind of felt like I was keeping everybody here, so.
Is there any doors we didn't check?
No, let's get out of here.
The only ones we thought we didn't check were the ones that like would have looped back around to the other side downstairs, you know. So we're pretty confident we know where that door goes.
Right. All right. You say so.
All right. Head out.
All right, towards the entrance you head.
Michael,
Yeah, that's me.
you said that like the green space was over here.
Yeah, it would have been. You would have been able to overlook it from up here in this kind of like area. So it would be like to the north, like kind of like a level down. But as you kind of get like in this area and like look in that direction, you can see out windows. There are kind of like these stone arched windows. They're not glass or anything. And so it would be overlooking something, but all you kind of see is that like infinite cloudy horizon, basically, that you're kind of overlooking.
Cool. All right. There goes the only other idea I had of go stick a shovel in the garden. So,
What if you shine the light on it? Like we did the Vaser.
There are worse ideas. Anna will pull out the shovel.
Isabel will pull out the lantern. Assume that's what you mean by light.
Yeah.
Google.
To reveal anything? Shine it on the shovel, right?
Yep.
Google work. Just looking something up real quick. If it work.
Good idea. Good idea, Saru.
Apparently my internet's being rude to me. I don't believe anything happens. Yeah, nothing seems to happen.
All right.
Maybe that's what Isabel fights that giant statue with.
I grab my shovel. Yeah. You know, the only other thing we didn't try was to shine the Sin's light to see if it, like in that where the clouds are, to see if it can, like, you know, cut through the light or something like that.
The overlook?
Or in the room.
More like in the side of the Pontiff's chamber. Like if you hold up Sin's light, will it cut through or reveal something? You know, as we're heading out.
Try and shine the light in a few places.
Yeah, and I would say Anna would specifically say, like, you know, walk a few feet, walk over whatever, it's like 20 feet down that hallway on the other side and see like holding up Sin's light reveals anything. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But she didn't have it when she walked.
True.
I guess she can walk with you and hold out Sin's law just for double powers. To probably do nothing other than walk another 20 feet, but
Isabel, roll an intelligence check.
Straight.
Yeah, straight.
Okay.
All right.
Welcome to my world.
Not low.
Yeah, as you guys are kind of walking around holding out those items and kind of shining it, nothing seems to, differ that you can notice or anything like that. Everything seems as it was before. You're just shining the light on it.
Yeah, just kind of like down in corner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing seems to change.
can Anna roll an intelligence roll? Is they getting extra?
You can at disadvantage.
Miracles sometimes happen.
Yeah, it's true. Really good. Even with a higher DC. Yeah, so as you're kind of walking around with Isabel here, like Isabel's kind of been wielding the lantern at this point.
It was an intelligence check, by the way.
Even with the save, those
Oh,
are very high. Still 16 on the die. And she's got wizard level, so I'm sure her intelligence isn't too bad. But yeah, as you're kind of walking around and kind of watching Isabel, and then like you're thinking about it because you're kind of extending Sin's light there, and as you recall, Sin's light kind of had a bit of a different weight to it after your encounter below with the Solar. It's like it's heavier, it's weightier, it's got more of a weight to it, and then you kind of start looking at the lantern that Isabel's wielding, and then you kind of notice the light looks maybe just a little different. Not anything crazy, not anything like super noticeable, but as you're kind of like, well, this changed, I wonder if that changed while it was in the door too. And you are able to Anna kind of just pick up that the lantern kind of does seem something about it to you, the way it's shining the light, something about it you're able to kind of pick up on, and it seems like maybe it's a little different as well.
All right. Well, Anna will recommend we kind of come back here, huddle up with everybody. She'll point out, she'll kind of like show the sword and be like, this feels more like a sword, and then she'll point at the light, and she'll say, and that looks different too. Sort of point out, the differences between how it looked like before and how it looked after, and say, I don't know if there's any braziers besides the one back there we can light, or if because this light is different, it'll take us back somewhere else maybe when we go back to the brazier. Something about the lantern seems different.
Well, yeah, I mean, we almost fought a demigod, so the whole thing's a little different.
True, just after I pulled it out of the door. And she'll be like, Xerxes, are you going to try to identify the light? To see if it has properties that you can now tell what they are?
I did try it once before. It was not magical. It was more of a key. Now that we know that it goes within the door, I think that probably is what it is. And I truthfully don't know if I've used that spell today. With how long this day has been.
I don't think so, because we're on day 2.
Yeah, I think that would've been
we rested
day
after
1.
we found the lantern.
That's true.
Okay.
Yeah,
Then-
that would have been day 1.
Then he will attempt to identify it again.
As you identify it, you are confirmed that it is does have a name. It is called Sin's Light, and it is a lantern of revealing. And that should be in the compendium. Along with it being a key. Into not only Sinful Keep, but the door of which you already found below. What you learn about how it works, Xerxes, is that it, if it had a handout, the handout would say something along the lines of Sin's Light becomes active only once graced by Warden Variel the Flame Blade. And it appears to be active.
He'd relay that to everyone then.
Well, that's cool that it can show us invisible things. Just be nice if we knew if there was something else we were supposed to be looking for.
Could just go check a few things that we didn't before with the lantern. Maybe it reveals
For
something
what?
in the keep. I don't know.
Osmir. Isabel's, divine divination said he was here. I would like to find him if we give up.
We did
We
find
walk
him.
out-
He was the...
That was his. I don't think so.
Right, but was it... Do we know, like, would the spell have answered differently if that wasn't there?
It's hard to
I
say.
don't know. She'll kind of like look at Steven and be like, it's a bit of a goose chase, but I feel like if I walk out this door and don't find him, he's gone. He's probably gone. But if he's staying here, invisible, just in a few of these, really just back in the rooms or somewhere, and all we had to do was walk down there and flip the light on. I can just go check quickly. So that would be, to be honest, is like walk around some of the places they've been before. Not like every single room, but probably go back to her room and then open the other doors of those rooms. And she can start doing that. Or her and Isabel can start doing that if Isabel wants to come with.
Sure.
I'll throw you the wand of secrets. Might as well if you're going to be retracing steps.
All right. Well, I'll start going then.
All right, whereabouts do you want to go, and then whereabouts do you want to charge off the Wand of Secrets?
Anna would charge off. I assume she would. The first place she would go is her room, see if the Lantern of Revealing or Sin's Light reveals anything there, and charge off the Wand of Secrets in her room. Or maybe like be smart enough to like space herself so she can ping a couple spots. But
yeah, so as you take the lantern down there and kind of shine the lantern around the room, any of the rooms within, kind of that region as you're walking down, shining the lantern, nothing invisible seems to show itself under the lantern. And yeah, if you want to tell me where you want to charge off the wand, that's totally cool.
Okay, I'm gonna move on to there. So it's 30 feet.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Here. There. Where she is. Try to get a couple rooms.
Nothing seems to ping on the Wand of Secrets.
Okay. And all right. All right, this is I can't really think of anywhere else. She'll hand the wand back to Stephen.
You know, Anna, I've lost my parents, and I can only imagine the lengths I would go to try and get them back. So I don't think your search is needless. I think that we just have yet to encounter someone from the material plane in this place. We have yet to meet anyone who is of the living, and you know, I don't understand Isabel's magic and how she's able to talk with the gods or God or whatever she talks to. But I think that, as Isabel just kind of like shrugs behind me, but I think that when it said Osmir was here, we saw what it meant, and that doesn't mean Osmir isn't somewhere else, but you know, similar how it said it was a way to the Ember of Sin and it wasn't. I think it's similar sort of situation. I don't know if you would agree or can find comfort in that, but I know it's painful to lose someone.
Anna will nod and just say, "Thank you, Stephen. I don't know. I think we're missing him here, but I'm out of answers. I'm out of ideas. Just head out."
And be hearted. We will be coming back here.
Just hope it's not too late. But she'll start to head towards the brazier.
All right, is the intent to head to the brazier?
I believe so.
All right. You will make it there without issue. And it looks as it did when you first arrived. If you shine the light on it, you are able to kind of see the kind of other side, the decimated cathedral. If you would like to pass through, you may do so. Just let me know.
Juana's going to leave a gold coin right by the brazier to see if anybody picks it up before they come back. 1 gold coin.
I love that.
All right. Find yourself back. In your favorite broken cathedral.
Does anybody have anything else they want to do in Central, or is it get out of here?
I'd like to see if the teleportation circle is intact.
Do we know where that would be?
Anna would know whereabouts that would be. Yeah, that would be possible to explore, to find.
All right. She would nod at something and just sort of think, good idea. I should at least be able to get us close.
Anna, roll me a D100 and then roll me a survival check. 52. So it actually doesn't take Anna long to find an area of which is traversable, to kind of enter further into the keep. She runs into a few areas that seem difficult to traverse just because of the amounts of rubble in them. But eventually she is able to kind of navigate to the outside of the room. It maybe only takes about an hour of time for you to get there, to this like kind of outside of this stone chamber that seems fairly intact. There's some cracking at the top. You can see the doors are kind of like there's some rubble in front of them, but the doors are big and thick and stone and kind of holding strong. And Anna, you would know that within these doors, it's essentially a teleportation chamber. You would enter this place to then cast teleportation or something similar. But yeah, you're able to get there within maybe about an hour's time, kind of traversing a few different halls and maybe moving a little bit of rubble. But with the state that this place is in, that's actually like pretty well quick.
Steven, how long do you need in here?
1 minute, assuming the circle is intact. Are the doors locked?
No, they don't seem to be locked. And with your party, with Kavan especially, you guys could shove those doors open pretty easily. And upon entering, Stephen, the circle, you can see it there on the floor, and it seems to be undamaged. And it seems to be like it should be in working order.
Cool.
So yeah, you're able to inscribe that the Centrel Keep circle into your Stephen's teleportation network.
Awesome. That's what, 5 now? Okay. We got the south pretty well covered, y'all.
I need to make a little like
map.
Yeah, I feel like actually I could probably put something on all of the spots in here.
Actually, that's 6. That's 6.
Because you have Paragus with the little blue dot.
Paragus, the mine.
Centrel. The Red River Mine.
Kestrel. Briarwood. And Mountain Heart.
You have the mine, but I'm pretty sure we destroyed that one.
Nope, we did not.
I'm pretty sure Xerxes blew it up.
He blew up part of it, which Michael stated would increase the percent of like taking damage when you land, but it's still working.
Yeah, that one is still working. It is just in a worse state. Needed more black powder.
Circle went boom.
Circle went boom, just partial boom. I put a little blue dot. You guys, you can cover some distance.
Mm-hmm. Too bad, like all the northern half of the map is not included.
Where was the circle in Mountain Heart?
It is the upper sigil. So based on what we've heard from Dvalin and what Steven knows, I believe it would be somewhere in the middle of the 100,000 husks that are walking around. Do I have that right, Michael?
Yeah. That's what Steven had learned that one. He'd uncovered that one like in his studies.
Yeah, learning from a dwarf. I liked dwarvish things, and hence I have that knowledge.
So he doesn't know exactly where it is. He's never seen it, but he knows the sigil sequence, so he could get you there. But by looking at the city, it doesn't seem like it would maybe put you in the best spot, but also you don't know.
XP farm.
Yeah. Well,
Everyone play the burnt horde mode.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yep. Good news is you got a sigil behind you if you do that. So, you can just disappear. Just need a minute. Hold them off for a minute, guys. And hope they don't run through.
just drop the hut.
Yeah, it's true. Drop the hut first.
It takes a minute.
No, it doesn't.
That's true.
Oh, wait, with the...
Oh.
Whatever now.
Yeah.
The little ball.
All right. Do we want to? Anybody else have anything they need to do in Central, or are we on our way out of town?
Not in Central, but nearby.
I don't know. We'll kind of just take a look at Isabel, looking for more explanation.
I told Steven about this a couple days ago or a day ago.
Less than 24 hours ago, I believe.
Yeah. Been long days. I wanted. There's something I want to show him and everybody else.
Okay. Let's head to your mystery spot.
Love mystery spots.
So it is about midday, a little past midday on the 13th. It is still pretty dark, obviously, where you currently are. Isabel, you know about how long it would take to get to where you were, and it's like half a day, maybe from here, dependent on travel pace and all that. So you could make it before dark. It's up to you guys how you want to do that.
Is mystery place safe enough that we can hang there for the night?
Well, I don't know if there's going to be any danger there. I don't know why there would be. Not really anything place very important to anybody else. So we can probably put the hut up.
Sounds good.
Lovely. Travel now, rest later. Sounds good to me. So Isabel and you all start kind of leading your way out of the rubble that is the cathedral, and then into the outer city, which is, as we talked about before, pretty leveled. Takes you a little bit of time to get through outside the city, and all the while you're kind of heading kind of southeast, is where Isabel's kind of directing you in that direction. And you'll know as you're moving through here, it is very, very much of the same. I mean, the ground is this kind of scarred earth, deeply scarred and dry. It's kind of all you've seen for the last few days, and or the last like 5 or 6 sessions. But for your character, it's not that long. But traveling through this area is just a lot of this kind of horrible badlands. But then it starts to get a little more hilly the further you get throughout the day. And at some point, like as it's, getting darker, you can kind of start to see this kind of break in the sky, the clouds. It's just not as overbearing as it was closer in towards Centrel. And you actually start to catch this kind of like this wind that is salty of seawater. Like you're getting closer to the coast, kind of tracking this direction here. As you do, and the area is hilly, and at some points you can start to kind of catch these like glimpses over hills of the ocean in the distance, as the sun is kind of setting behind you, and it's kind of catching on the water. So it takes more or less the better half of the rest of the day. But Isabel, you begin approaching kind of the area that you're seeking as the sun is setting. So there's still some light. As you look back towards Centrel, it still looks rather dark, kind of like coalescing around that area. But you've kind of broken from what feels like kind of that unnatural darkness a bit as you made your way further away from the city. And you guys can start to hear, the sounds of the coast a bit. There's crashing waves in the distance. And it doesn't look like there's too many like coastal beaches in this area. It's more cliffs, more kind of rugged. But you can, in fact, start to see the water in the distance as you get closer to this spot. Anything that anyone is chattering about or talking about as you're kind of approaching the spot that Isabel is kind of taking you to. Now would be a great time for that. If not, that's also fine.
Gavan, tell me where you learned about being one of the 12. Is that something you were always taught or you found in your journeys?
Well, come on, wasn't expecting this. No, not always. After the world took a giant shit on itself, I was approached because I can fight. At first it made sense to me, the philosophy of it all, the strong surviving, because that's what I was witnessing every day. But the more I talked with others, the more it just made sense to me. I don't claim to understand everything. I'm not the smartest man, but somewhere along the way, I could see no other way. The gods have left. And it's pretty obvious that not many are going to survive what's going on. Even as strong as we are, we've had a lot of luck. In the end, though, humanity has always and will always survive. It just makes sense to me that it won't be many. At least that's what I've been taught. Has kept me alive so far, so I have to keep believing.
Who taught it to you? Or is this just something you discovered on your own?
All of the teachings come from the Soldanos. He is the one that blessed or cursed, or however you want to put it. He is the one that knows how this is all going to play out.
Is the Soldanos just a single man?
Yeah, as far as I know.
Where did you meet him?
Let me pull up the map. It would have been between the Lemneck Woods and Grey Forge. Just on the road, or not on a road, but out in the wild. He saw that I was surviving and asked if I wanted to thrive. Said that soon I wouldn't have a choice.
Interesting. Do you know, is he still alive?
Well, if he isn't, then everything about the 12 is a lie. He's the leader of the 12. I aspire just to be a lieutenant or something. I don't know if there's a word for it.
Fascinating. Are there many who follow his teachings? Do you know?
More than 12, which brings an interesting dynamic, does it not? They truly believe. But if he's right, they won't all be able to participate. And maybe it won't be any of us. Maybe it'll be a separate set of 12 that are stronger than we are.
That would pose quite the problem.
Are you waiting for me to say there can be only 12? Because I will say there can be.
No, I was just literally just thinking out loud. No. If you want to say it, go for it. But no, I wasn't.
In a Scottish accent, all of a sudden.
Right? Yeah. All right, that's all I got.
You all approach a small hill. Isabel, looking upon this hill, it's familiar. At least in your mind, this is what you remember it looking like. Though this hill is no longer covered in the thick grasses that it once was covered in, and now is just that hard packed and kind of scarred, craggy earth that the rest of this region is kind of full of. And as you kind of move over this hilltop, the view is that of miles in all directions. It's one of those hills that kind of like is over the top of everything. Looking back, you can see Centrel. You can see it covered in that darkness, kind of hugging that area. And to the east and the south, you can kind of see that the ocean, overlooking the ocean, and then direct kind of, south and towards the Briarwood, you can start to see actual signs of not just like stumps and limbs that you've kind of encountered around Centrel, but you can start to see the colors of greens and the autumn oranges as trees in that direction seem to kind of still be holding onto their leaves this far south. And as you're looking around here, there's one kind of rock formation a little bit down the hill, a little towards the sea that you can see that kind of catches your eye and kind of confirms that this is the area that you were looking for. This formation is distinct because it has kind of this odd overhang over the top of it. And it was actually used as the back wall to like not just a barracks for soldiers, but also a place that you and your sisters in the white shawls would use as this area to house down soldiers, to hang your canvas tent in these kind of late stages of the war as it kind of came into Central. And you can see that kind of far end of that structure where you had your tent strung up. And then beyond that, about 40 feet or so, you can almost picture yourself kneeling there over the downed paladin that just had blood gushing from his wounds as you were trying to save him. And it's like you can see yourself down there just kneeling, the shawl around your neck kind of caked in blood, and then glancing up towards the sky as the sky started to illuminate with white light. You threw yourself. You can see yourself there, like watching it happen in that spot. And as you take this moment in, just this was where things changed for you. This was where things ended.
Isabel is, after probably stopping and pausing for a noticeable amount of time, will walk to that exact spot. And is it just like barren land all around, nothing else on it?
Yeah, Isabel, as you kind of make your way to that spot, looking around the hillside, just remembering like pure chaos of the fallen paladins around you, and watching that primordial titan kind of make its way through Centrell. Now a distant memory as you've kind of seen it now fallen, and you made your way back through Centrell. You look down, and instead of the paladin at your feet, you just see that same like cracked hard earth that you've been traversing for these few days. Though there are curiously a few small blades of grass kind of popping out from between some of that cracked earth.
Stephen, I told you yesterday that you had saved me before. Well, when the war was coming to an end, a lot of forces built up around Centrell to try and defend it from the Titan. And I was stationed here with the others of the White Shawl and Paladins of Sin to guard the east flank. Just watching the Titan just walk through the city. Didn't look like it even tried to destroy it. And here I was, watching it. Could do nothing. The hordes poured in, all around. We fought for hours, even after the Titan left. Praying, hoping something would happen. That there was something at the end of all of it. And for most, there wasn't any. As I stood here, gasped the light overhead and what it meant. Trying to protect what I could. The light descended, and I could feel its burning touch. And it is hard to put into words what exactly transpired. After that, bearing peaks of darkness and light. But what I remember most of all is the cacophony of screams echoing. And I thought that was it. I thought that was the end. As quickly as it came, left. At least that's what it seemed at first. It didn't leave. I was moved. When my vision came back to, I stared at the God's Wall on the southern side. And for years, I thought it was Helen that saved me. It was her name I cried out to in the end. And then, of course, 6 years later, your friend asked me to help you, and I did. We got you and myself out of the Unseen's clutches. I could not have known how important that day was then. Not until recently. And so we traveled together, all of us, until the Mountain Hot and back to the Hollow. This brings me to what happened at the bottom of that ravine in the Hollow with our old companion, Fabius. I did some extreme things, because, well, he did some extreme things. And then you did something, Stephen. I'm not entirely sure what exactly you did, but it changed everything. I should not be alive. I should have died here. But you pulled us into the past. We met North Keith. And the only way I can justify my existence is because you allowed us to meet North Keith, and so she, knowing I had to survive, pulled me from the burning. I'm not sure what else there is to explain about it. It's hard to understand fully myself. But I've only gotten this far because of you. That much is sure.
I think it's safe to say we've only gotten this far because of all of us working together. That I wouldn't be here without you and Anna's help. That we've all had a hand in pulling each other out of the most dangerous of situations many times over, even just in these few short weeks and months. I can't say if Nothgeith pulled you out of the burning south of the God's Wall. I've never heard of anyone else getting transported during the burning. I don't know if I'm comfortable with the idea of the gods being able to move us around like pieces in some instances, and then others are completely powerless, but we have each other, and that seems to be doing well so far.
Yeah, we have served each other well.
Did anyone else who was with you during the burning get moved?
I looked desperately when I first got back. They were my friends and family. The chosen one at the time. They're all probably dead now.
Well, it seems like I can't speak for everyone. I'm assuming this is a party conversation, not just you and I.
Yeah, whoever.
Yeah. Well, I can't speak for anyone else, but it seems like you and I were both given a chance to use our gifts to make a difference, a second chance, if you will. And I know I, for one, don't want to waste it.
We should not waste it. Which is why I do not think I will be traveling with you all much longer.
What do you mean? The
more I try to make sense of why I'm alive, the more I feel this pull, this connection. And I think I am being pulled home. But not Briarwood home. A home I've yet to visit.
Where's that?
We were very close. Only earlier today.
You mean Celestia?
Isabel nods. My return from the burning, I think, was only... Well, it has very much felt like borrowed time. And I have duty to fulfill. Not one just simply because the gods chose anything, but a sense of duty I've built along the way, from what I've done, what I've seen, and survived.
What duty is that?
We do not know how far Odalric is from gaining access to Celestia. We can imagine through Centrell is the only way, but I doubt it. And if we're going to wait until all of us can pass through that barrier, who's to say Odalric would not have made it there already?
What alternative is there?
I go alone.
Through Centrell?
No. Like I said, I think there are other ways, just narrower ways. Ever since I've gotten the Ember, I have felt less tethered to this world. Slowly. It's been building. I don't know when it's going to happen. But I feel soon.
I agree there will probably be other ways to Celestia, but at the very least, don't just go off on your own. You now have an Ember, and that is going to make you a target for Odalric.
That is precisely why I need to do this. What better way to keep it safe?
Keep it safe. You'll be more of a target. If you're off on your own, you'll be more vulnerable, whereas so far, Odalric hasn't been able to send a force that can defeat us.
Perhaps what you're trying to get at, Stephen. Is that I want, and I think I can, beat Odalric to the throne. Safeguard it from him.
I don't know how.
Well,
That doesn't sound like you do either.
no, not exactly. Sometimes the way these things work, just sort of feelings. Hard to understand.
Yeah. That's correct. That's the first right thing you've said this entire time.
Sorry, it's... If it happened and I said nothing, I would have regretted it. I knew it would be hard for other people to understand. What do you think of the Embers, truly, Stephen? What do you see them as?
I have no idea.
Then why are you going after them?
I'm not necessarily going after. I'm going to Briarwood. It seems that I don't understand this whole bit with the gods, but they seem to be connected to stopping the mind flayer and this Odalric guy. So
Well,
any tool is a good tool.
I think that's a poor way of looking at it. When you use a tool, you have a responsibility to it.
Won't you be throwing yours away if you get the Ember of Sin?
Who says I'm reaching for the Ember of Sin?
Didn't you just say you wanted to go to the throne to guard it? Isn't that where Sin's Ember is?
I could guard the Ember, yes, but what do the Embers enable?
You clearly have an answer, so why don't you just say it?
To ascend. Replace the gods. That's their purpose, as far as I can see.
So you're wanting to become a god, isn't that what that's what this
I
is?
don't want to become a god. Never wanted that. Still do not want it.
And don't.
Maybe you'll understand one day, Stephen. Like I said, if power is a tool, then you should use it with responsibility. Otherwise, you are no better than the unseen.
I really do hate to interrupt you two, but I must say the last person that had such delusions of grandeur ended with a bullet in his brain. I'm not entirely sure why you feel that you must do this by yourself, but I must say that martyrdom is a rather ineffective strategy, seeing as it's rather short-sighted.
If I could bring you with me,
Agreed.
you would.
I have no interest in replacing a god. The gods never cared about me, and they never cared about you. Teleportation or time travel, whatever, aside, they never cared, and that's why they left. But you're right, it's too dangerous a tool, too dangerous a power to be left in the hands of a being such as old Ulrich. I truly believe that our best chance is to work together. Stephen's not lying. We've only come this far because of one another. And you're a major part of that, Isabel. Without you mending our wounds, many of us wouldn't be here today, myself included. So if you wanted to commit suicide by angel or bring us to the site of your crisis of faith to walk into the ocean and die or go off on your own, I would ask that you reconsider.
Xerxes. I didn't say anything back then. But when you stepped through into that room with me, it meant a lot. And if I thought we could all go there, I would gladly bring all of us. Now, this is not to say I'm just going to walk into the ocean and die. I have no intent of that either. I will scream and shout until the last breath leaves my lungs. What I'm trying to say is I will go with you all as long as I can.
Kavan's going to get up. He's going to go over to Isabel and not say a word and grasp her by the forearm and nod. And turn to Saru and say, Saru, please expend 1 charge on the horn. Or however many charges it takes to fill it up with ale.
And that's where we go to commercial break.
Brought to you by Pabst Blue Ribbon.
Yeah. 8:33 break. I love it.
A whole hornful for $4.
This is the best game. This is the best game.
I'm going to be disappointed if it's not Pabst now.
Oh man, this is the best game. All right, take a break. Go pee, get drinks, and do more of this because I could watch this all night. You stand on this spot. The spot that Isabel claims is the spot that she should have died had Stephen not intervened in a way. Very interesting.
Nope, definitely not. Helwyn intervened, right?
I don't think that's what I heard.
Okay, you're saying I intervened in the past. Okay, now I'm tracking because I didn't pick that up the first time at all.
That's what I heard her say.
Okay,
That's just what I heard. That's my summation of the role play.
got it.
In some way, shape, or form, it doesn't sound like it was Helwyn. Sounded from Isabel's point of view that it was something else that had happened based on many different things. But yeah, where does this conversation go? Where does it continue? What else is there to be said? And what do you all want to do? Hearing this new information from Isabel, she says she plans to continue with you until she cannot continue anymore. If you want some time to meta-talk, we can meta-talk. I'm into that too, and then jump back into the role play. If you're ready to jump back into role play, let's go, because I could watch this shit all night.
Yeah, I think Kavan was in
I'm jacked.
mid-sentence, so should at least
Yeah,
let
he was getting some ale. Saru's gonna make that ale.
Well, he was talking to no one because Saru's down by the coast looking at the ocean, walking back up the hill going,
Oh.
Hey guys, there's this really cool half dome thing. Wait, you guys all look sad. What'd I miss?
Isabel wants to pull a Clavius and just peace out.
Like, take over the world, Clavius?
Yeah, basically, become a god.
Is he?
That's Steven's perspective on what I said.
Are we just going to glance over the whole I'm from Celestia thing? Like, feel like that's pretty important.
I don't think that's what she meant.
I think she means she thinks she's from Celestia now that she has an ember. And by the way, that's Steven talking.
I mean, where are you gonna go? I guess your mom's somewhere, right? Family?
Sorry, did you say where or when?
Where?
Where? I'll still be traveling with you. Until I'm not. Until I'm pulled away. And it's not to the home I knew. It's a different one. After I returned from the burning, Briarwood wasn't my home anymore.
Well, everyone's got a home somewhere. I guess if you've got to find it again, it's worth looking.
Yeah, I think it is, Saru.
But you're not just gonna disappear overnight again, right? Like, you'll say goodbye and stuff?
I hope I'll have
Preferably without the bridge jumping?
I hope it's not something like that. I hope I'll have a moment. But it is hard to say.
What are you waiting for? Like, what are you going to use to decide? Like this, it sounds like this is all your decision.
There are a few factors involved. Some I can control, and some I cannot. Bit of a roll of the dice, I would say.
Real thoughtful, Isabel. Real well thought out. I love it.
Yeah, well, don't always get to choose where we go.
Well, how about this? Until you figure out when you need to leave and where, you keep coming with us. We'll keep doing our thing. And we'll take it one day at a time.
Sounds good, Sue. I like that.
Now, where exactly is our next step? How do we get Anna through that barricade?
You mean Sin's sentry?
The wall she couldn't pass through?
Yeah, that. Yeah.
Need an ember to get past that. Kind of defeats the purpose of trying to get Sin's ember then. Because we can only
Could we-
we can only each have one.
Do you think we could get Sin's ember and bring it out to her?
Possibility, sure.
Because I don't know. I mean, Anna, I don't know what you're looking for, but kind of felt like that's the one and only one for you.
Anna's off. So
Okay.
if you want her in this position, she is like kind of off to herself.
It is an interesting puzzle, though, is it not? You need an ember to get past the gate. You can have only one ember, and since ember is beyond the gate.
Maybe going across isn't such a bad idea after all. But if Isabel goes over, maybe she can still come back.
Perhaps. Maybe I could get the ember.
Nana couldn't get it.
I could, if there's a way for me to come back, I could bring it back.
Seems like the moment you touch an ember, you claim it, right?
Not if you already have one.
Thought then you would just lose the one you had.
I don't think so. Well,
Possible she couldn't pick it up either, but we don't know. We haven't tried. This is only what? The third one we found? Speaking of which, it's been kind of weird that the third one we found, all of a sudden we can't get to it. Like, what makes Sin so different?
he was the head of the Pantheon.
Yeah, it seems like he's kind of the final boss sort of situation.
To put it plainly, Saru, in a plane full of assholes, he was the biggest one. It's not a surprise. He'd leave some kind of winged creature behind to make it difficult. That's all they're ever good for anyway.
Isabel looks at Xerxes
But you've got
up
wings.
and down.
Who left you behind?
Other than my parents, you mean?
It only took us this long for all the real pain to really start coming out of it.
A lot of family issues going on.
To be a parent in Dungeons and Dragons is the most dangerous character role you can have.
Did anybody have a normal upbringing?
No, of course not. My next
Yes.
character will.
Actually.
Normal people.
None of us
Normal-
need therapy.
Do normal people go on like mostly suicidal adventures?
And thrive.
Well, we think there's an ember in Briarwood, so I think that should be our next direction.
I don't know how much you appreciate my saying some of these things at this point, but I agree, Steven.
Didn't even acknowledge it.
Well, now I don't want to go to Briarwood.
Yeah.
It was all I wanted in life, and now I don't want to.
Glad it fits into your itinerary, Isabel.
Suru will walk over to Anna. He's like, you doing okay?
Anna's been trying to identify the Sin's law. If it's been 10 minutes.
Yeah, I'd say it's been 10 minutes. Sin's law.
Good Lord.
Sin's law becomes active only once graced by Warden Burial the Flame Blade. Once active, the blade requires attunement by a creature of lawful alignment or a paladin of sin to access the following properties. Sin's law is a magical dancing and defending longsword in the image of Sin's own holy symbol. A dancing longsword or a defender, both in the compendium. That is the text. That is the text there. For Sin's law. A few notes are that when you're using it as a defender, you have to have it in your hand. And while it is dancing, it cannot be used as a defender. While it is dancing, it does have a +3, however, to attack and to damage rolls. And unlike a normal dancing longsword, it does not have a 4-round return to your hand requirement. It can dance as long as you want it to dance, as long as it's within 30 feet of you. Or you can move it within 30 feet of you. It's weird. It doesn't have to technically stay within 30 feet.
That's legit.
I'm glad we just gave Anna like a 30 armor class.
Anna can't use it. It's a regular longsword. It's not dex based.
Plus, I can't imagine. Are you lawful?
No, but if she could, if this was a normal longsword, I'd be talking to, or if this was a dex based longsword, I'd be talking to Michael to be like, how do I make myself lawful?
What tattoos do I have to get removed to?
No, just like
lawful? I know it. I was.
Yeah. Just
It's
more
a
like.
joke.
I mean, it could be cool, but it's as a longsword. It's not a dex longsword.
Yeah.
She's not gonna have any use for it. So she'll kind of like look up and see. Sorry, sir. This thing is. She'll kind of wield it quite powerful. But I don't think we have anybody who can do anything with it yet. Maybe someday.
Isn't Kavan?
There's absolutely no way. Is Kavan lawful?
No, but he's strength based. Like, I was just going off that of.
I'm sure Anna would give it to Kavan.
In some ways, Kavan is the most lawful. Give him coin and
Nathaniel is lawful. I don't know how that would work.
I'm not sure, honestly. I'm not sure.
It does not say lawful good.
It just says lawful.
Who knows? It just says lawful. Or paladin of sin. So yeah, maybe give it to Finn.
Perfect.
When you go back to the hollow.
Anyways, Anna will put it in.
Your level 3 buddy. Or whatever level Finn is.
who has like 4 super cool magic items just souped up for days.
Finn's doing pretty well.
Anyways, Anna will sort of sheath the sword. Yes, sir.
Nothing. Just you were off by yourself, and you missed a whopper of a conversation. You might ask Isabel about it. But we're kind of trying to figure out where we go from now. Some say Briarwood still.
Anna will get up and join the conversation. Connor was listening, so and so I don't need that recap, but she'll sort of just be like, yeah, I think Briarwood makes the most sense. It's the best lead for an Ember. Might give us more clues on how it seems like everything, this corruption, the unseen, Grey Forge, maybe even Mount Badaric, it seems like they tie together. I'd be shocked if we didn't run into the unseen when we were there. Maybe we can get some more clues on what's going on. Also, I think we should get the embers as quickly as possible, which might mean those who are up for the challenge traveling in the winter. We need gear for that. While people of Briarwood haven't had much reason to go north, I'm sure there's old cold weather gear somewhere there. Either way, I think it's a race to get the embers. I think it's a race to get to the celestial plane at this point. Just kind of glance over and go, whether Isabel beats us there, the rest of us there or not, we all need to get, as many of us need to get there as possible to have a chance of fixing whatever has happened, however that looks like. So I'd say, for all of us who are still willing, let's go grab 5 more embers. Briarwood seems like the next one to get. And then maybe we can travel, or our next best lead is maybe one north of Brandy. But if we're gonna do that, we're gonna need to pack for it. I don't think I'm gonna pick up Sin's Ember. At least not yet. See, that Ember seems more important. We need to get to the realm. I wanted to hold that once, but fate seems to have other story in mind. Let's just see what else is out there.
Good as planned as any.
Steven, you have an idea of how we're going to get back into Briarwood?
Well, I certainly don't want to use the teleportation sigil if that's what you're asking about.
I don't think we're going to be let back through the wall. Nor do I think it might be our best idea to just say, "Hey, we're back," and tip people off that we're back.
No, we're definitely not going to be let back in the wall, but that's not a massive issue. I could make 4 of us fly at once, and Xerxes can fly, and Saru could even climb it, and if not, I can let more people fly as well. So unless we think we wouldn't be able to fly over the wall, I don't think that would be a problem.
I mean, kind of just depends if there's guards or anywhere. But I mean, we still have that foldable boat, don't we?
No,
Is there any reason why we couldn't just?
we do not have the foldable boat.
You just crush Saru's droid.
Chaudhry's boat. Chaudhry's boat.
You know, Steven's good at woodworking. He could build us a boat. He could carve us out a canoe.
We know what the wall looks like when it meets the water.
No, we don't.
That's why I said guards, because I don't know.
I just sort of think we'd pick a spot, just head due west, pick a spot, fly over, maybe get into Riverwood first, get information on what's happening in Briarwood. I think seeing how willingly the unseen have moved, I don't think we should assume Lord Briarwood is still in charge of the place. He might be, but that seems... I don't think we should assume it.
I do have family in Riverwood. That could maybe help.
So you are going home then? On a
Yeah, I thought you didn't have family, Isabel.
Oh, the family.
Pick a story.
Never said they weren't my family anymore. I just said Briarwood wasn't my home.
Well, that would be my recommendation if we can get around the wall, fly over it. Fly over the wall.
Getting past the wall, I think, will be the least of our worries. To be honest, I think.
And
Like
doesn't
you- like-
Arthur, isn't he like well aware of the guard? He like was.
Everybody hated their guts, from what I could tell.
Arthur was a guard from basically Paragus over, so Paragus River to the west,
Oh, to the
where
west.
the red sentinels hold the wall to the west of Paragus River, and the Sons of Briarwood hold it to the east.
As the guards, like I said, I think the wall will be as far as what we encountered, crossing the wall. I can make us invisible. We can fly. I think there are lots of ways around it, barring some magical enchantments that the wall would keep us from coming back over.
All right.
It might take a little bit, but of time, just maybe so I can cast different spells, but that shouldn't be an issue.
Well, I'd say we should head to Riverwood then. Meet up with Isabel's family and see if we can't get some information on what we're going to walk into when we try to walk into Briarwood Castle.
I know Riverwood well myself. That's where my workshop is.
Yeah.
Sora's ears perk up at the thought of an upgrade.
Could be a place, good to have backups in case Isabel's family's still disposed, or you have some guns laying around you want to share.
And then we
Anna
start
is
blasting.
still working that angle.
Oh,
She's
yeah.
still working it.
60 plus sessions later. Got a se-
Gunslinger. Yep.
Got a second piece? You wanna?
There's a feat for it. I'm ready to take it.
She's gonna turn her Talir into, each end shoots bullets.
Oh, gonna have a gun in one hand and a Talir in another.
Talir bayonet.
Yeah.
There you go.
On the end of her sniper.
We'll figure it out. All right. So rest for the evening and head east, west, not east.
South. Southwest.
Just walk
Southwest.
into the ocean. All of
Yeah,
us
you
walk
could walk into the ocean. It's fine.
Roll 7 new characters.
Goodbye.
6. I think Saru would be fine.
Yeah, that's true. Roll 6 new characters. Saru would not walk into the ocean because it's wet. That's true. Like,
It is wet. So he's like, I'll see you guys later. All right, resting for the evening. Anything that anyone wants to do before bed?
I would just say, as we're kind of walking away from that conversation, Xerxes would just kind of put his hand on Isabel's shoulder and say, "The reason I went through the portal to come find you is that you're my companion and I care about you. I wouldn't want to see you hurt or worse. I think I'm one of the few people that understands what you're going through right now. Maybe it just didn't affect me as much because I've been afflicted for many years. If you ever need to talk, you know where to find me."
Thank you, Xerxes.
Sleepy time?
Would someone like? Were you gonna say something, Connor?
Go ahead.
I was gonna ask if someone would volunteer to cast the hut today.
I mean, I can do it.
Sweet. Steven throws you, after 1 minute of casting, a bead, and you crush it and feel this energy expand, and all of a sudden, the tiny hut has appeared. You are now the proud owner of a tiny hut.
All right.
Anna's tiny hut.
Yeah.
Anna's tiny hut. So awesome. Very cool. This is the first time Steven can walk in and out of the hut. Ever. Because it is not his tiny hut, it is Anna's tiny hut. That's dope. Anything else before getting into the evening and the rests and the next day? Nada?
Nope.
Okay. Wunderbar. Where did we? Okay. It's been a while since I've actually advanced this calendar, so making sure that our Roll20 script is good and working. Work. Beautiful. Beautiful. Your evening will pass peacefully. Those of you who were experiencing loss of hit points, or loss of maximum hit points, I should say, you will get those back. That's night.
Is Cooper right beside you, Michael?
Yeah, he's like
Okay.
on the ground, just
Okay.
looking like a maniac.
I thought I heard a dog's panting, and I was like, I want to make sure I'm not having some sort of stroke and imagining it.
He's right there on the flow. Okay. Hit points return. Those of you that have are in need of getting your temp hit points back that you lost. I think Kavan, you will receive those. And the night passes. And we have finally moved the calendar one day forward, 14th. What's your plan, y'all?
I think head southwest towards the wall, right?
Any specific area you're intending to aim? Or just that away?
Maybe a little bit more direct towards Riverwood. I don't know.
Yeah, just east-ish. And if Arthur's magically not, if Arthur's not there, I can be our survival person if you want us to, Michael.
Oh, Arthur may not be here, but he's able to at least guide you. He's there in spirit. He can navigate anything that anyone wants to do during that day. Any abilities, spells, anything that they need to take care of, shit they need to make or whatever. You're able to do so between morning and breaks and the end of the day. It is traveling kind of out of the region is basically the idea here. So the further south you get, the more the grass seems to kind of come back, the more the cracked earth seems to dissipate, and the brighter it seems to get. The cloud cover kind of starts to give way, and you can actually start to see the patterns of day and night start to be a lot more clear. And then we're going further south, and the trees holding on to leaves a little longer. The colors of the trees are changing. It is becoming late fall at this point. But yeah, that's kind of what the day would entail. But if anyone needs to do anything specific, now's the time.
Sendings or communes?
Yeah, I'm in. I'm all about that. All about that life.
Anybody have any questions?
The patrol at the wall would be like the first thing in my mind, if there's any way to phrase that.
Into a yes or no? Do we want... We didn't divine about the Ember at Briarwood, did we?
Nope. You asked about Centrell, you asked about the enemies respawning, and you asked about Osmir.
That's right. Well,
I would say Briarwood does have more than 5 embers been claimed, just to try and get an estimation on if the enemy has more than 2.
It could be multiple enemies too.
Yeah, that's just what I mean. If have 5 or more embers been claimed to kind of give us a hint of like, oh yeah, we're really up against the clock here, or nope, it's the score's 2-1 so far. We're a close match, but we're still have a slight lead.
Could ask if Odalric has one.
I mean, I think that's a given. Because didn't you ask already if...
Asked if there was more, if some were taken other than just the ones Xerxes and Isabel had.
Gotcha.
And that was a yes. So
I would assume so. You could ask about the Elder Oblex and the Mind Flayer.
how they're related.
Yeah.
Not that one.
You could ask if Briarwood is safe for us.
That's just going to be a no.
Or if Lord Briar is
I
still in
don't gotta be.
charge.
Ooh,
We could use
that's good, Will.
ascending. We can
That's
use
good, Will.
ascending to confirm that.
That's still good. Just like his Lord Briarwood's still in charge.
Yeah. So we could try and Isabel can send a sending to Lord Briar. And well, if there's
That's
no
good.
response, we
gonna
know
say
what
that-
happened.
That could be real awkward if he's not. Hey, are you still top dog?
So I don't. We can find that out outside of communion or commune. So I think first is like the Briarwood Ember, right?
Yeah. I think you try and word it similar to the one like with Centrel. Just like if it's a similar like yes and no, like okay, well, we're really starting to get into the interplanar travel.
And whose Ember was it?
I put it on the map. Ernsith? I'm sure Ernie to the gods behind his back.
So I could just say Ernie.
Yeah.
Just Ernie. Good old Ernie.
And it specifically referenced the city of Briarwood. Do we know?
I'll paraphrase and I'll roll a history check if that'll help. But
It looked like Castle Briarwood.
yeah, the biggest thing it reminded us of Castle Briarwood. But like it honestly, like we had Dawnhammer and Centrel in our top tier of like, yes, we're correct. And then like this was in the next tier of like, we have an idea, but it was not a slam dunk.
Right.
And then that was really the only one in that tier. And then the rest, it felt just kind of like, man, there sure are places.
Head to a region, hope for a plot hook.
Yeah, exactly. Find a big temple in the Lamb Neck Woods. Still upset, Michael. There weren't more tablets in the Dawnhammer's temple. Still upset about that.
There are reasons for everything.
Are there?
Okay. There are. There are. As Isabel does her thing, which we've seen before, drawing her blood and using holy water in a bowl, she begins her communion. And the answer is mostly yes. There is a tinge of uncertainty, but it is mostly yes to your first question.
Very similar, it seems like, or it could be similar to the Central situation.
It's good enough, at least.
Yeah. Good enough reason to go there to try and look.
The answer is no to your second question.
3 or 4 embers have been claimed.
Oh, sweet. So worst case, we're tied.
In this case, we're tied. What was did anybody want to ask about another ember or?
I mean, it's your spell. You could ask about Celestia. You could ask about Lord Briar. You could ask about the Mind Flayer and the Elder Oblex. Did the Mind Flayer send the Elder Oblex to Sinfall Keep or something. I don't know how you'd word it, but it's Elder Oblex created by the Mind Flayer.
I'd ask something about that dude that told us to get out of Sin's temple, or
Yeah,
the people are going to get
that
sick.
too. Yeah.
Oh, is the elvish disease real? Is that like? I mean, we're going off of the word of a, evil madman, probably.
Your spell, and you only have a minute, so
That's true.
dealer's choice. You can always do it again tomorrow. We have a couple days to the wall.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yes, Stephen, your suspicions were right about the Obelix.
Okay.
So,
We might have to go back to Mountain Heart sooner than we thought if the Mind Flayer is working for Odalric, or maybe the Mind Flayer is Odalric. Who knows?
they may have a deeper connection than we know.
Yeah.
Isabel's going to do at least one sending to Lord Briar.
Oh,
Funny you should message. I'm in chains. My execution is scheduled for 3 days from now, so if you're in the neighborhood,
that would be wonderful if you could just pick me up.
I don't know why I'm talking like this.
You have been chosen.
To save me.
Poison.
Looking at this wooden beam above where I am, it says Stephen was here.
He's just like, hey guys, I actually retired to Krazik.
Yeah.
Could not
Wait.
blame him.
Who's this? I got a new number.
Yeah. This could actually be really interesting, Croft, because if this could maybe open up the teleportation circle. Who knows?
Good.
Yeah. I don't know if I'd want to anyway, but if he's still in power, that could be a faster way of getting there.
Could be. Is that? To expend the spell.
Roll a D100.
Boy.
Awesome.
We get back the thumbs up emoji. I hope
There's a
that.
long.
Hang on, can I make my joke real quick before you give the answer, Michael?
Uh-huh.
I hope that
Yeah.
the D100 was to determine if Lord Briar would remembers who this is. That's my hope. Like, no name, no introduction, nothing. Just a voice that in his head.
Kind of purposely left out Isabel's name.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
There's a long silence that greets you. And that is it. There's no response. Only silence.
Well, that is about probably the worst you expect.
Yikes.
There was no response. Okay. Isabel definitely tells everyone that.
R.I.P. Lord Briar.
That's amazing.
All right, well, we should move fast to the wall then. We don't have the luxury of time then. I think it's safe to say that the Unseen is probably in league with Odalric somehow, and maybe a matter of time before they get the Ember themselves.
Onward. Make it to the evening of yet another day. Hutting up.
Yeah, someone else can hut up again.
Who shall be casting the hut this night? Sarah?
I guess.
She's chill. Sarah casts the hut tonight. Feels very cool when she does it.
Michael,
Yeah.
does anything happen if Anna sticks the shovel into the ground, other than, it works like a shovel?
Does she like drive it in, kick her foot on it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a solid
It's a good
shovel. Seems
We can
solid.
identify it.
Seems a solid shovel.
Okay. Yeah, does anything happen if, like tonight, if Anna tries to identify it?
Nothing. Shovel. Mundane shovel.
Cool.
What's to say?
I mean, you're probably the same.
Who is to say? Hutting up in Sarah's tiny hut. She's about to take a wizard dip. Wonderful. You take a nice little sleep, a nap, if you will.
During the night, Michael, Stephen will leave the hut. He's just right outside of it. It's not like he's wandering off.
Sure.
He's just outside so he can, and he is, over the course of the 4 hours, trying to perform a spell, and it is simply not working. And so there will be.
Oh, is this on his watch?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Well, funny you should say that because something happens before that.
Oh, okay, cool. Even better. Retcon, this happened the previous night. The spell never works, so there will be an email to come about it. Steven.
I love it.
Yeah.
Can't wait. Can't wait to learn what Steven's working on. That I should be really scared for. Because Elfwatch comes. And immediately, kind of as you guys like come out of your trance, the three of you, there are some just immediate like strange things that you notice, and maybe not immediately like crazy strange, but just like different. For the first thing that you kind of notice is, you're normally passing off the watch at this point from Kavan or whoever else may be up. You see there is a set of armor on the ground. Kavan's armor is lying there on the ground, and he's not, wearing it, which, sleeping in armor is a little crazy. After a few moments of like kind of maybe waiting for Kavan to return, looking around the area to see if Kavan is outside, maybe he's, taking a dump, as people seem to do it, weird hours of the night. He does not seem to return after a few minutes of your guys, the Elf Watch, kind of taking over. And that's when you start to kind of like be a little more curious, start to look around. Anna, that's when you kind of notice, like, where's the bag? Where did I stick that down? It's usually kind of right here next to me. I kind of got up in a huff, like tonight as we were talking, and I started looking for Kavan. Where's the bag? And you start kind of looking around within the hut. And the bag doesn't seem to be where you left it.
Okay.
Look around. Everyone else is here, sleeping, as they normally are. Kavan is missing. His armor's here. Excuse me. But the bag of holding is nowhere to be seen.
Anna will look at Steven and say, do you want to see if you can find him with your eye? I'll see if Lunas and I can track him down.
No more strangers. Like that's it. This is the squad. Like, from now on. Like, screw everyone else. Like, clearly, this is the squad. Like, there's always one. What they say, 7's the most unlucky number. That's it. Yes, I will look for him with my eye. Did you not pay him? I thought we paid him through the month.
Nathaniel gave me the money back.
I will. So go ahead.
Yeah. I know, go ahead. I mean, I probably at the same time you're doing it, Anna's going to step outside and just, like, do some survival check.
Yep, I will assist. So, I don't know how you want us to roll that, but...
Yeah, survival check at advantage from Anna, or if vice versa, whoever is the
+1,
survivor
so...
in the situation.
Your +1's actually better than me.
Oh, good. All right, great. Here we go.
And Sarah's like, I'll stay in here so that the hut stays up. Because I remember how this works.
First roll of the night at 9:40.
There's been others.
No, for me.
20, not bad. Steven, you start looking around. You've picked up on life out here at this point. Tracking, you've learned a bit. And after a few minutes pass, you're able to actually find a few broken branches nearby, maybe a footprint, some pushed over grass, a crunched leaf, something that does key you in to, like, well, someone went off this way.
Is it just one? Maybe think it's just one set of tracks.
Yeah, it seems to be just a singular set of tracks, kind of going off in a southerly direction.
We'll follow.
In person or with our magical scouts?
It's up to you.
I don't have a strong take.
We can try in person first.
All right.
How far do you intend to go?
Who stays up with Kavan?
I was just going to say that because doesn't Arthur have... What watch is Kavan even on?
He'd be second. Who's
So
up
could
with
we
him?
probably be with Arthur?
Yeah.
And I have a hard time. That's what I'm trying to figure out. Like, I have a really hard time that any of us would be like, oh yeah, we'll just leave Nathaniel by himself on watch and not
it's not
let him
honestly.
sneak out.
And honestly, it's not even a Nathaniel. I think we've always had double watches because we've been able to afford it.
Right. That's why
Yeah.
that's why I was trying to figure out if this is in fact what we're thinking it is. I don't understand how it would foreseeably happen. But carry on.
Yeah.
It
I mean, I guess-
would be Nick / Arthur would be on second watch.
Yeah, maybe that's too much of a retcon for our present situation.
I mean, it's been 2 minutes, 3 minutes.
Yeah.
And we would have known, was Arthur awake? You said everybody else was there.
Yeah, I mean, Arthur would have been there. I don't 100% know your watch layout, but Arthur isn't here now in the moment, so that's kind of where we're at.
I don't know. Let's follow it. Maybe.
And for the
15.
future, we'll establish the buddy system on watches.
Seems fine.
All right. Let's say we go like 50, 75 feet and see if we can follow it.
Yeah, roll a survival check at advantage still.
It's a dangerous game.
Moving through the dark, you're able to spot some more signs of someone that has moved through this area. Again, it seems in the same direction. You're picking it up. It's not full on, like easy to follow the whole time, but you are able to pick up. Oh, here's another sign of someone moving through this direction. Here's another sign of someone moving this way. So you're picking up the trail.
I will point in the direction of the trail and cast message and say, Kavan, where are you going?
There is no response.
Okay. Well, means either knocked out, not responding, or more than 120 feet away. But I feel like we would have gotten an answer if we could have. So I think they've got some distance on us.
Do you want to try the eye then, just to see if we can?
Yeah, I hesitate to get too far away from the hut in the dark.
Yeah,
So-
yeah.
I think that's the best play.
Okay.
Well, no, it wouldn't even work that way. I was going to ask if Lunes could possibly help, but it doesn't
You can
work.
fly another 100 feet.
Yeah. Let's keep going, you and I, for a minute, just because I think meta-wise, the advantage I get is essential with a +1. Otherwise,
Yeah,
I'll be
I mean,
rolling survival checks in the dark.
Honestly, yeah. I mean, if we keep going, I can switch my vision and roll through Lunes. Lunes has literally a better survival than us.
All right. Let's double back to the hut real quick and tell Sarah to start a 60-minute timer in her head. And if we're not back in an hour, to wake the others and to possibly come after us. But let's set a 1-hour time limit for ourselves to get back. That way she's just not in there wondering, and at a certain point we can't go too far in the dark on our own.
Okay, it's fine by me.
Sarah will, look up to the sky, kind of track the moon where it is, and look to you and be like, all right,
Yeah.
1 hour.
Okay.
And she kind of pegs that.
Let's keep going.
Yep. So we will continue to follow the trail.
Roll me a survival check.
And actually, the owl has a 0 survival. So
These are the people we want. Jeez. You know what I'm gonna do? Why not?
I don't know. Yeah, might as well.
Might as well.
Might as well.
This seems kind of important.
So you kind of get to that spot that you were at before and start looking, and there's something just stumping you, and you're kind of able to focus back in using your ability to kind of like really hone the world around you, kind of mold it to what you wish. And as you're digging through the area, searching, you are able to again kind of pick up a trail that leads you again further south. And you follow this trail for a few more 100 feet, maybe through the woods, through the plains. It's kind of a mix in this region, but it is becoming more or less kind of that Badlands. The further south you get, the closer to the wall that you get. And it's a few 100 feet more, somewhere when you're about, I'd say, in the 800 to 1,000 feet, maybe, from the hut range. I'll ask for your passive perceptions. Somewhere in the 14, 15 range, I believe.
I believe I'm 15.
14.
15.
That Stephen, in the light of the moon, you see something kind of catches your eye, a glint of like something. And you see kind of a lump a little ways off near a tree. A small lump on the ground.
Can I do a perception check? Do I hear or see anything in the area as well?
Yeah, you can do a perception check. As you kind of scan, kind of halt to make sure everything is quiet, looking for movement, listening for any sounds in the immediate area. You don't hear anything. There's a breeze that kind of runs through, and some of the leaves kind of brush, but you're able to kind of like focus in past that. You don't see any movement. You don't hear anything, and as you kind of focus in on that kind of glint of light, it almost looks like glass, like the sheen of glass, and behind it, what looks to be canvas.
Okay.
Let's approach.
Gotta go towards it.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like the orb, right?
No, it does not. And as you approach, you can see that there's actually like a glass bottle just kind of laying there, kind of beside a tree, uncorked, just kind of laying on the ground, the cork nowhere to be found. And beside it, kind of leaning up against the tree, is a bag. The bag. the bag of holding, is kind of just leaned up against the tree there on the ground.
Can Anna do the good old-fashioned inventory check of dump the bag and frustration?
No, I will try and stop you. Like you're gonna
Why?
open the whole thing?
I want to see what's in there. Yeah, we gotta check to see what's friggin' in there.
Yeah, but like we don't know if there's someone around here that like just do one thing specifically. Like at least a spot check if there's anything in there. Like see if the sphere of doom's in there.
Anna will try to pull out the blackboard.
You reach into the bag and you pull out the orb.
Can Anna take a closer look at the glass bottle and try to connect it to something?
Yes, you can.
Is it a whiskey
Roll
bottle?
Investigation or Arcana. It is not a whiskey. Just looks like a vial of something.
I'll assist, by the way, but if that might not matter.
Well,
You
it is
can,
me.
yeah. You can roll a second.
I do a better than a
die.
3 on the die. There we go.
As you look at it, you sniff it. You give it the old once over. As Stephen kind of like helps you kind of angle it a little better, maybe to see in the light any remains in there. It does actually look to be the remnants of what was once a potion. That of a potion of invisibility. You're able to kind of suss out.
Can we look around for more tracks? You said, are we at the base of a tree?
You are, yeah. You're at the base of the tree.
I will look up and speak out loud. Nathaniel, Kavan, are you there?
There's no answer.
Okay.
I love that Steven's first thing to check for is spirit. I'm like, that's so good. He's like, fuck that thing. I need to know where that thing is at all times.
I mean, I think
Look for more footprints.
Yeah, roll survival.
Anna will aid you.
You are again able to kind of pick up a trail of footprints that seem to head, continuing kind of in that same southerly direction. It's not everywhere, that it's not like a constant trail. You know, you're just picking up bits and pieces as you move along the way.
Can I ask a very nitpicky question, knowing the answer probably
You can
is
always
no?
ask.
Okay.
You can always ask.
We just woke up. I'm assuming I have not had a chance to prepare my spells for today.
That
I don't-
depends.
This is
If
an
you want
honest.
to.
It's an honest nitpicky spell of not knowing how, like, just that mechanic always seems like to be in a gray area of didn't know if it, because like the way I understood it is when I wake up, like you have to spend that time doing it in the morning, and so didn't know if that means it's just everything from the previous day until you choose to do it again.
It technically equates to part of your rest is when you're choosing these spells in the morning.
Gotcha.
So I mean, right now,
Then that
you would just have your previous spells.
then that answers my question. Like, because if you were gonna say like, no, yeah, you always spend 10 minutes in the morning doing it, then I would say like, well, then I'm going to, prepare see invisibility, but that's too meta then. So, okay.
Sure. Yeah, if you want to take the time to prepare your spells now, you can. That's always an option.
Okay.
Just take some time.
Yeah.
How much time has passed, Michael?
Since you guys have been kind of walking.
Since we told Sarah that we had an hour.
Oh, less than an hour. You guys haven't been up for more than an hour.
Well, we have to. It's less than 30 minutes because we have to take that time to go back.
Yeah, even still, less than 10
Okay.
minutes. You
Okay.
guys, you guys have traveled maybe 1,000 feet
Okay.
in the
Then
dark. You're not moving you're not sprinting or anything, but it's only
Yeah, I
1,000
mean, I'd
feet.
say
You're not
I'd
that
say-
far away.
Let's keep looking. If just
Yeah,
trying to see what
absolutely.
trail. No reason to quit. And then if we hit 30 minutes and it's just south or whatever.
I'll just do another spot check just while we start to walk. Are the dimensional shackles in the bag?
You reach into the bag as you're walking. You pull out.
Cool.
Out the shackles.
I'm just gonna go down the list of things Steven's scared of. So
Hello.
he didn't take everything. So I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, so you're able to follow that trail for a little while before you kind of seem to lose track of it. You can roll another survival check.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
Beautiful. Yeah, so you guys go for 25 minutes or so into the night, almost getting to that 30-minute point, and you are able to kind of like slowly pick up on these pieces, these trails, these bits, either a footprint here in this kind of moved dirt, this kind of depressed piece of grass, this broken limb, these freshly, all these things that are kind of leading you in this direction. And yeah, you're about 30 minutes from your camp at this point.
And this entire time, it is what you've exactly described. It seems like it's one person has probably moved through here.
Yeah, this doesn't seem like it's been traveled by a bunch of people or anything. It doesn't seem like it's been traveled by a bunch of game. It doesn't. This seems fairly fresh. This seems like the movements of a singular entity, as far as you can tell.
Okay.
Well, if he left willingly, he probably has a 2-hour head start on us.
We'll have to chide Arthur for getting an extra bit of sleep in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Buddy system.
Then just head back.
And no new people. This is the squad.
Squad ends here.
Yeah.
See you guys next campaign.
I mean,
Will, if you want to create a character that wants to stick around, go for it. That'd be great. Yeah, let's go
Make your
back.
way back to camp.
What I will do, I mean, I'm sure it'll get easier in the light, but how far, if we were to guesstimate, like half mile, less than, more than, are we from the hut? Just ballpark it.
Yeah, I mean, you're probably within a mile, I would think.
Okay. Every 5 minutes or so, Steven is going to cast a firebolt on the ground and like scar
Find it in the light.
yeah, just like scar the earth a little bit, or even in the dark, like just, whatever, like he's just going to create a little dot trail that, like because what Steven wants to do once we get back, do what Anna wanted to do initially, empty the bag of holding, figure out what's gone, and if it's something super important, then we turn around and like, all right, we're gonna have to bust ass. And if it's not, then we'll just wait for the light. But we should have a much easier trail to find of the mile that we've traveled so far.
Love it. Beaut. You guys are able to make your way back. Stephen leaving kind of a burned earth, burn mark trail as you go. But yeah, within the hour, you're able to make it back. As Sarah kind of awaits you, wondering what the heck's going on.
I would like to do an inventory check of the bag.
I will
Love
now
it.
help. As 20,000 coins just.
Yeah, it's going to be a very big mess.
Is there a
dumping out
way?
the bag.
Is there a way to mitigate the coin problem? Like maybe
There
do
is
that.
not.
Okay, well,
Dumping out the bag will be a very large mess. Much as
Got
it
3
was when Clavius upended the handy haversack in his tent and things spewed forth everywhere. Much in the same way, things will spew forth everywhere. If you
Do it outside.
upend the bag.
before you do it, I'm gonna take 10 minutes and cast for the first time floating disc and see if we could just like kind of shape the spew.
Get
just
most
so
of it to land on.
The coins kind of land on a place versus just going everywhere.
Yeah, that's good. I love that. Yeah. Where do you do this?
Outside the hut.
Like pretty close to the hut?
Yeah, like right next to it.
I mean, we don't want we don't like, I don't know, within visual distance of the hut. But I don't want it like, the goal is not to wake everybody up with the sound of 100,000 things clanging out of the bag of holding.
There is a lot in the bag.
Then let's just go one at a time and pull it out until we get to the coins. We have it written down.
I just want to be clear. All that stuff coming out of the bag was enough to, and there was not nearly as much in the handy haversack when it exploded in Clavius' tent. This is a very stuffed to the brim bag. There's a lot in there.
I mean, that's fine.
As far as you think. There's a lot.
I can go one at a time.
Yeah,
And
we've
if you
got it
drop
written
this-
down.
I know it's riveting, but it will be a big mess if you upend it. So.
Okay, we can
It's
go
up
one
to
at
you.
a time. We'll go one at a time, and then if he robbed us, we can just figure that out later. Unimportant. So do you want me to start just like rattling what's off in there, or if I'm just like,
Yeah, I'm in. I'm totally in. I'm here. I'm ready. It's only 10:05. I got time on my hands.
okay, you ready?
I've never been readier.
Warhammer. Frostbite.
In the bag.
Wow, rebuke shield.
In the bag.
Mace of Terror.
In the bag.
Dimensional shackles is in the bag. The headband. Mage headband.
In the bag.
Mantle of spell resistance.
On
Isabel's
Isabel,
wearing, yeah.
Cool.
I think.
What's the
Not
mage
in the bag.
headband?
It
I
was
don't
the it was the Mage Bane collar. That's what that is.
Oh,
there
gotcha.
you go.
Got it.
Okay. Clavius's owl coin.
In the bag.
Oh, thank God.
Armor of
Armor.
necrotic resistance.
I think someone's wearing that. Maybe I'm wrong. Either way, it's in the bag or it's on someone. Or Xerxes is wearing it, maybe.
Contact other plane spell scroll.
In the bag.
Bartlett's got the sun sword. The letter that we got from Lonnie.
In the bag.
Okay. I don't know.
Like that's not in the bag. That's in my on my person. The key for the Sphere of Doom.
Well, there's
So-
2 keys.
Oh, that's right, the new one. Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, so the key we got from Paragus Lake, associated with the back spear, the wooden one.
In the bag.
All right. I mean, everything else is like
Coins.
just coins, or if Anna's bedroll is no longer in the. I mean, Anna was on the bedroll.
That's missing. The
Or
bedroll.
healer kits, diamonds.
You're able to pull out coins, diamonds.
And
Yeah.
can I roll a history check just as based on everything we're pulling out, is there anything that we're forgetting?
Here's the thing. I tell you guys to tell me what's in the bag. So,
Yeah, I know. That's
I don't
we've
keep
got
track of the bag.
Yeah, I mean, that's what's written down. Everything else is
Yeah.
healer's kit, gold, diamonds, dungeoneers, or burglar's pack.
honestly, Michael, I was just asking it that way to see if we had a retcon situation where something was taken that one of us thought was on our person, like Sin's Law. Connor said was on his person, but if that had been interpreted as in the bag, that's all I was asking, really.
No, I everything that you guys have on your persons, I'm pretty aware of that stuff.
Okay.
The only other thing I see is a chunk of amber.
Oh yeah,
It's either in the bag or on Anna, as far as I'm concerned.
yeah, because
Last
that's
time
honestly.
Last time I knew it was on Anna.
Well, that's
Whatever.
probably it doesn't exist anymore. Because that was used to get into the brazier,
Sure.
to get into Sinfall Keep.
That was a chunk of the Titan's heart.
Oh, then what's the
And that
amber
doesn't
shard?
exist anymore. The chunk of amber was given to you.
Oh, that's right, by Gildor
by Gildor. Question mark.
or Torgon. Yeah, good
okay.
call, Croft. The deacon staff. I reached for it.
In the bag.
I think everything's there. Everything's important is there. Because I've got stuff like the tuning fork that's on my person. I think something.
right.
I think something else is going on.
Yep. All right. Whatever. We'll just tell everybody when they wake up that Kavan/Nathan. I thought that Nathan may have woken up and taken the owl coin for some dumb reason, but if the owl coin's in there, then
Maybe, but we don't want to open the damn thing, Croft.
All right, 50 sessions later, that thing's gonna bite us in the back.
I'll go to Will's. I'll go to Will's
Okay,
house
here we
and-
go. Is Nathan in the bag? We'll play that game. Is Nathaniel in the bag of holding?
I love that. That's my favorite thing I've ever even. Wow, that'd be amazing. No.
We
Nothing
openly
goes
talked about that in Mountain Heart. I'm can we fit someone in the bag?
True.
There you go. It's Kavan in the bag.
Kavan does not come out of the bag.
All right.
Good. All right.
Well, then, when we all wake up, we can talk about, do we want to pick up 30,000 coins? We can have that conversation, but for the moment, Steven's not in the mood to play 52 card pickup with all our loot.
Might take a while.
Yep. Yeah, I'm the
Just
same boat.
might take a while.
Meanwhile, the disc is just we've been putting stuff on the disc,
Yeah,
and it's
as-
just piling up. Sar is just probably looking at us holy shit.
There's more in that bag than I thought there was.
Yeah.
Every time something rolls to the edge of the disc, starts ah. Let the rest of your watch pass.
I guess. If you're
It's
gonna
up to
let
you.
me, I'm gonna officially prepare my spells for the day. Since
That
it's
would
not,
be the time.
yeah,
that would
it's
be the
not,
time to do
not,
it.
not cheating anymore to just I need to see invisibility right now.
That would be a good time to do it. The rest of your evening will pass uneventfully. And you will all, minus Kavan, wake up in the morning.
Excuse me.
All right. I guess we tell everyone what happened. We found Kavan seems to have, or I assume it was Kavan. Guess it could have been Nathaniel. Don't really know how their system works. It was probably Kavan. Took the bag and
Was his armor the only stuff that was left? We never really asked, I realize.
Kavan, was there anything else in your armor?
There was a
The more you
note.
know.
It probably would have saved a lot of time.
The
So
more
would
you
make
know.
it a normal fucking character.
all right. So
Hey,
Stephen,
Nate, this is a problem of your own making. Anytime you want to take a watch, you can get to play these.
It's not my call. There's no man.
Cersei's got to sleep. Cersei's got to sleep.
I'm just giving you a hard time, man.
Got to pick up
Got
those needs.
All right, Steven, realizing we never really looked, and to be fair, we've been burned on this a couple times, so I actually feel like we kind of played our characters correctly.
True.
Rummaging through Kavan's shit, finds a note. What's it say?
It says,
is the misspelling of Briarwood canon?
yeah.
I hope so.
Okay.
I don't think he understands how a potion of invisibility works. Like, it was an empty bottle we found, right?
Yeah, there was an empty bottle.
It's going to last him an hour.
I mean, the man had canteens. You don't know.
Oh, okay.
Maybe
Fair.
he was leaving you a bottle.
I'll make sure.
Or maybe he drank it. Who's
Finally, when Michael asks who's to say, the answer is finally me. Finally.
I have something to say on the matter.
But I mean, I won't. But I mean, in theory, I could.
something. He has something to say.
I don't think he understands how invisibility works. Or did he not know that I could cast it? Like,
Doesn't seem to have thought this one through
no.
either.
Tough
That's,
break, Isabel. Now you really can't leave because we're not letting anyone new into the group. So if you leave, we're really going to be screwed. So
And let's talk about the writing, because the writing is, I think, canonly misspelled, and it is definitely like scrawled handwriting that you're immediately like, this is clearly Kavan's handwriting.
Okay.
well, let's follow him, I guess.
I mean, he's going to Briarwood, so I guess I don't have any interest in trying to chase him down. He's got quite the lead on us. Let's just stick to the original plan. He didn't take anything. Whatever. Hire better help next time. Make sure to hire help that's always there, not there, 50% of the time.
And buddy system on watch. You need to pee on your watch? Take a buddy. Like,
Dimensional shackles on watch.
yeah, exactly. It's now the second time.
All right. So we head out.
You head out. Moving towards the Vol. During this day, is there anything anyone wants to do? I feel like I may have missed ascending somewhere in there.
I mean, you never responded to Lord Briar.
Well, I know that.
I'd
Andrew very, very well could have sent,
Yeah.
another.
Stephen would ask Isabel, is there anyone else in Briarwood that you could do ascending to? Maybe we can already get a head start on some recon.
Isn't that what got Isabel kidnapped last time?
Well, it was more just because I stepped away. What
Yeah.
who I sent the sending to.
We were also like 100 feet away from enemies versus all of us being together in the light.
But I can ask someone else. List of people I know is dwindling. At least that would aid us.
Just a thought. If you don't think so, then not worth it.
I'm Croft is literally trying to think of people. Did we want to do another commute?
What do you want to ask?
I don't want to ask anything necessarily in particular, but if the party wants any information on anything.
I can't. I know we had leftover questions from the last time, but I forgot what they were already.
We had at least one more that I was tempted to ask. I think Bart brought it up, but I can't remember what he said.
What?
You had the last time we did commune, you had a question, I think, that I didn't ask. But I can't remember what the question was.
The only thing I had said last time was like figuring out if Briarwood was safe for us. But that was very general. I mean, something else we could do, and this doesn't necessarily help us in our situation now, and it's not it's more of a sending thing. But I've been meaning to bring up that we should eventually touch base with Avelina and potentially have them ask Yofun if he knows of any other weird temple or potential spots for shards, specifically that he's flown over in like the woods and things. So we have a go-to place after Briarwood.
That's a good idea.
That's a really good idea. He would know the lame neck.
But as far as this scenario, the only thing I could think of is asking Steven who he would know that he thinks Kavan would also know. Like, who would Kavan go after that Steven would somehow have had some relationship with between the three of them?
Literally no idea.
I know. That's like, I'm just like, I don't know.
I don't even know how to phrase that into a yes or no.
Yeah.
Get a
Right.
proper answer.
I mean, yeah, the only way it would be like Is the person Kavan going for related to Steven?
Sounds like it. At least Kavan thinks it is.
Yeah.
Doesn't do as much good to not know who it is, though. Especially the fact that Lord Briar didn't respond to us. Who knows how the situation has changed? Are we going to hit the wall today, Michael?
No, where I've moved you is basically where you'll get by the end of the day.
Got it.
So you'll hit the wall midday tomorrow.
Got it. Cool. I don't have any command questions.
Croft, the message that I sent would have been the response to the message that you sent the previous evening that I didn't.
Oh, yeah. I figured that. Thank you, though, for
Okay.
clarifying.
Just want to make sure that you saw.
I've got nothing. So as far as I'm concerned, it's just a travel day.
What did we want to ask Evelina or Yofun?
Have them check with him to see if he's seen any like weird, maybe not weird, but just any other temples or ruins or someplace that could potentially be like a shard location, specifically like in the woods, or if he potentially has gone beyond the veil.
I could just ask Yofun directly.
Or that I didn't realize, or I'd forgotten you had a direct. I mean, I guess yeah.
That's a great
Either
call.
way.
Yeah.
The Lamnac was his area, and so that's probably where I would. That's probably where to start with.
Anything around the Lamnick?
Yeah, just anything strange. Because looking through the notes, not this matters. It was Aedwin, Ember, that had repeated flowers that can be found at the Lamnac Woods. That is. So if there's anything, about Aedwin in particular.
Or even just those flowers. Heck, like if those are native to a certain area of the woods.
What kind of, did it say anything about the specifics of the flowers?
I think all it said was a type of flower to be in the Lamnac.
Okay.
Meta-wise, I wonder if like Arthur might actually know what it's called, but I don't know.
Well, there's also, I think we also maybe thought one in Brandy, and there's the one way up north.
Yeah, I think there's one in a cave outside Brandy, but
Yeah, you might not know about the cave. That's true.
And besides, we don't have to use a sending message. We can just use the sending stone to Lady Evelina.
True.
So, like, if we can ask, but like if I was just also thinking if anything bad had happened up there, they have a means of getting a hold of us. So, no need to burn the spell.
Well, I mean, it's at the end of the day.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
All we did was travel, so.
Yeah, well.
I mean, if someone wants to send anything to Lady Evelina,
you want to say, okay, what are we doing? Why don't you send something to Kavan? Hey, who are you?
I mean, he didn't respond to your message, so who knows he's going to respond.
Well, he wasn't in range. It only had a range of 120 feet. So that was just me curious of like, is he around here somewhere? It's worth a shot.
Yeah, I mean, Croft probably already sent a message to Kavan.
Sendings on sendings.
You could double up sending stone and sending spell. Extra long message.
If only that's how it worked, you could chain 3 together. 4 together. 100 words.
What you guys want me
I was like,
specifically to ask
why couldn't
Kavan?
you? Yeah, why
Like,
couldn't
just like,
you?
who is he going after?
Yeah,
Where,
who is
like,
he going? Like, yeah, who is he going after? Like that, honestly, especially Steven would want to know. How does he plan on getting across the wall? It's been such a weird session of D&D.
Not going to get a response sending something to Kavan today.
Will, you're
fourth
fired.
level
Get out.
force. Using a 4th level spell slot to cast another sending. This time it's the other person.
Same question.
Basically.
Meanwhile, the buddy system. Would Sarah be willing to switch when she rests? And that way.
I mean, Anna's willing to do it.
Oh, that works too.
Anna's gonna move to first watch and
Okay.
second watch.
Cool. This will give me time to catch Sarah on the rebound.
There you go.
She's just been left by her strange two-headed man or something. She doesn't seem too broken up about his leaving.
No, probably in a better mood about it, to be honest.
So many confusing sendings.
So it's Anna, Isabel, Saru tag teaming the first two, and then Steve and Sarah tag teaming the second two, right?
Arthur in there somewhere
Oh yeah, and Arthur's in there as
when
well.
he's actually here,
yeah.
when applicable.
Mm-hmm.
After a moment, Isabel gets a response from Nathaniel and/or Kavan. Well, it seems I inspired him the way I was talking a few days ago.
Good.
About leaving?
Doing what needs to be done, I guess.
Real good. Did he say who he was going after?
It was Nathaniel that answered back, so he doesn't know everything.
Of course.
So is Nathaniel coming back then? How does that work?
A great question, Saru.
Well, no, I imagine if he's in control, he would have. If he wanted to come back, he would have.
I'm sure they
Did
have
he say-
some. Sorry, go ahead.
Did he make it past the wall?
Got
Did he say? Okay.
No, he did not say.
Cool. Real inspiring.
Yafun did say there is a flowering field within the Lomnic, which may be a clue. But he
Okay.
wants something.
Of course he does. What's he want? Did he say?
He asked what's in it for Yafun.
Tell him his sphere of death.
He didn't know what that was, if I remember correctly.
No, he definitely didn't. And I'm still hurt by it, Anna.
What's in it for you? I'll think about that one.
You think he wants an ember?
That's something, a dragon with an ember.
Michael's all about that.
That'd be terrifying.
I mean, I've legitimately heard of worse ideas that we've come up with. Than, like, whatever. Odara,
He can travel with us. How about that? A spots opened up in our party.
Right? Didn't Arthur say he could transform into like a person?
Yeah,
He did.
Arthur did say that.
Cool.
At least Yofun told Arthur that.
All right.
That's it.
Yeah, I think
That's
Yeah, I think that's
Lovely.
four
Maybe-
sendings.
Yeah. Maybe Kamal will do something stupid and be a really big distraction and let us sneak into the city.
I think the first part is 100% accurate, Screw. I am confident that is going to happen. Whether it helps us or not remains to be seen, but you're right. He is going to do something stupid. Stupid with 2 O's.
And I want to see
That's
it.
solid.
I want to see it.
If we get there in time, I'm sure we'll hear about it.
Can't wait. Did I hit the calendar last time?
No, you didn't.
No.
So 2 days then. And by midday, you will begin to approach the wall. For the first time since you left it. Those many days ago. About midday. On the 16th rotting of Heliac, when you come in range of the wall, seeing this massive white structure from this side for the first time in months, you crossed over near here, near Red River, and you're now approaching a portion of the wall that is apparently run by the Sons of Briarwood. Unlike before, where you crossed was north, where the Red Sentinels were in charge of that portion of the wall. As you kind of get into this kind of visual range, cresting over a hill through these woods, where you can kind of get this full visual of the wall on the horizon. I'll have everybody roll a perception check.
This is going to be like a scene out of G.I. Joe retaliation where like the White House has like the flags of Cobra just like unfurled and we're gonna see the unseen sigil on the wall.
It's a really, really good poll. I had no idea where you were going with that. Just wanted to get in on that. Roll. Here's the deal: his next character is gonna have to not have a guidance on there all the time, or I'm just gonna really just take it out on him. Xerxes. Xerxes, Stephen, Isabel, Saru, and Anna. All of you. See, a bit to a little further north on the wall, as you kind of crest out of being able to kind of see it in its massive curve on the horizon. It's probably like an hour's away before you would make contact with the wall. But you can see there looks to be, at first you have a hard time understanding what you're looking at, because there almost looks to be like a portion of the wall that just isn't intact. You can kind of see beyond it a bit. And it's kind of Xerxes whose his old eyes are able to kind of like focus in, those sniper-like eyes. Maybe he looks through a scope, I don't know. And he is able to confirm that yes, there is a portion of the wall, probably around, somewhere to the more north from where you would, hit impact the wall on your current trajectory. That there is what looks to be a large portion of the wall that is heavily damaged. And there seems to be some sort of gap in the wall. On the horizon.
Good.
And that's where we'll pick it up.